Click on the subscribe button to subscribe to our channel. Press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Wipro President Bitotsav 18, in association with Vision IAS, extends a warm welcome to everyone sitting here. Amidst us, we have Ashish Singhal, Director, Directorate of Municipal Administration, Urban Development and Housing Department, Government of Jharkhand, Mr. Aditya Kalia, Vision IAS faculty member, and Dr. Kirti Abhishek, the faculty coordinator of Bitotsav 18. The Vision IAS team is here to conduct a workshop on career in civil services for all the IAS aspirants out here. I would now like Dr. Kirti Abhishek to welcome Mr. Ashish amongst us today. I would now request Mr. Aditya to address the gathering and motivate them with his words.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aditya Kalia and I am Faculty of Economics at Vision IAS. Since you are here, you have been waiting for some time. I am assuming that many of you have thought about choosing civil services as a career, right? So, may I ask why does somebody wants to become a civil servant? Anyone? The reason why you have chosen or you are thinking of choosing civil services as a career?
To make a change.
Huh?
To make a change.
To make a change. Okay. What else? Anything else? Why have you chosen to become a civil servant? Why are you thinking to become a civil servant?
Serve the country, I believe.
Serve the country.
My country, I mean the population that lives on.
See, there are many reasons why one can choose to become a civil servant. There is no one specific reason. Okay? Somebody thinks that this is a bright career, there is job stability, career security and all those things. किसी को लगता है कि भाई जो है you can make a change in the society, you can work for the poor and the downtrodden, social economically backward. There are many reasons. Those reasons are not my concern, they are your concern. And you should be clear in your mind that why do you want to become a civil servant. Unless and until you have thought about this why, it will become very difficult for you to execute the how you want to become a civil servant. The process of the civil services exam, the process itself takes about 1 year. Dedicated preparation takes about 1 year. So at least 2 years if you get through in the first attempt. At least 2 years you have to dedicate 2 years of your life. So unless and until you are clear in your mind about why you want to become a civil servant, that fire in you, it will not sustain. Everybody wants to be, सब बनना चाहते हैं, अच्छी job है, it's one of the best jobs in the country, best careers out there. So सब लोग बनना चाहते हैं. So do you actually want to become a civil servant or you just kind of want to become a civil servant? You really want success or you just kind of want success? So unless and until you are clear in your mind that yes, this is the reason why I want to become a civil servant, not one particular reason, many reasons might be there. So you will not be able to sustain that fire in you for those 2 years, at least 2 years. How you can become a civil servant, for that we are there to assist you, we can certainly assist you. What are the best practices, what are the best things you should do? Do you have idea about the civil services exam? Huh? I'll give you that idea. See, I'll talk about the basic modalities of this exam, what all is there. We have Ashish sir who will broadly tell you about his journey, what the life of a civil servant is like, what you are looking for in a career, what you expect from life when you become a civil servant. For that Ashish sir will be addressing you. I'll walk you through the brief process of this exam. See, there are 3 stages in this exam: prelims, mains and interview. About 6 to 7 lakh people give the exam every year. About 10 lakh fill the form and about 6-7 lakh people are giving the exam every year. This year there are 782 vacancies, one of the least vacancies in past few years. So 782 into 3. That means about 2200, 2300 vacancies, 2300 candidates will be called for the interview. 2300 into 5, about 12,000. About 12,000 students will be called for the mains exam. That means 12,000 students are going to qualify prelims. So out of 6 lakh people who will be giving the exam, only 12,000 will be eligible to write the mains exam. So you can imagine the competition that you are going to face once you decide to take this plunge. So therefore, before beginning your journey as a for becoming a civil servant, you must be clear again about that why. What is asked in the preliminary exam? There are 2 papers, paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1 is general studies, paper 2 is a CSAT. CSAT is just like your CAT paper. But that CAT paper, that CSAT paper is only of qualifying nature. You have to secure about 33% marks in it, and the marks are not counted in totality. In the paper 1 is general studies. In that paper, anything can be asked. Now that anything includes anything from history, geography, economy, polity, current affairs, science and technology, anything can be asked. UPSC has given certain syllabus, but the wording of that syllabus is not very specific. For example, Indian national movement. Indian national movement spans across about 100 years. So you have to know each and every event that of those 100 years. Anything can be asked. Point is, you have to prepare smartly. You take the list of books which are available on the internet, you end up studying all those books, and still you will not be able to answer many questions. About 50% of the questions in the exam are those which you have not seen before. You have to think there only, you have to make intelligent guesses in those questions. Based on your knowledge, whatever you have studied, आपको वहीं पे सोच के apply करना है और फिर आपको intelligent guess के basis पे answer करना है. Very random questions will be asked, about 50% of the questions. So there is no list of books which you can study completely and you'll be assured कि भाई आपका selection हो जाएगा. No. The manner of your preparation will make sure that whether or not you get selected or not. क्योंकि course बहुत wide है, course बहुत vast है. Next is the mains examination. Mains. There are total 9 papers in the mains exam. From these 9 papers, there are 2 language papers. One is English language, one is a regional language. These are again qualifying nature exams. You have to score about 30% marks in both these papers. The rest 7 papers will determine your merit rank. Rest 7 papers are, there are 4 papers of general studies, GS 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll briefly talk about the syllabus. There is 1 paper of essay in which you have to write 2 essays, and there are 2 papers of optional subject. You have to choose one optional subject. Optional means it is your option. There are about 26 subjects from which you can choose from. Out of those 26 subjects, आपको जिस subject में मन लगता है, जो आपको पढ़ने में अच्छा लगता है, जो आपको लगता है ज़्यादा scoring है, you can choose any of those subjects. You will be asked questions as an expert in that subject. You are expected to be an expert in that particular subject. Suppose you have chosen mathematics, you might choose physics, geography, history, public administration. 26 subject है total. तो आपको answer करना है उसमें as an expert. So special knowledge is required in that optional subject. Special knowledge. The 4 general studies paper, in that general knowledge is required. You have to write as a generalist, not as a journalist, a generalist. आपको generalist की तरह answer लिखना है. So briefly I'll walk you through the 4 paper syllabus. Paper 1 is history, society, world history, Indian history, art and culture, geography. These are the broad aspects of the paper 1, first paper. Paper 2 is Indian polity and governance, in which various aspects of governance are asked. How does the Indian polity functions, different aspects of our constitution, all these things are asked. International relations, what is the impact of protectionism throughout the world on India's economy, इस टाइप से सवाल पूछे जाते हैं. That is paper 2, polity and governance. Role of local bodies, institutions, self-help groups, all these things. Paper 3 is economics, security, disaster management, environment. So again, analytical questions of the form, for example, how has reforms, the 1991 reforms, how have they impacted the poverty ratio in India? इस type से applied questions पूछे जाते हैं. So that is paper 3. And paper 4 finally, it's a new paper, again introduced in 2013. This is ethics and human interface paper, in which applied parts about ethics and morality will be asked. There are going to be 6 case studies in which certain situations will be given to you and you will be expected to answer those case studies in the shoes of a particular person you are required to be. For example, आपको बोल देंगे आप DM हो एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट के और आपके डिस्ट्रिक्ट के अंदर बाढ़ आ गई है, आपको इन पर्टिकुलर लोगों को बचाना है, किस प्रायोरिटी ऑर्डर में बचाओगे? There will be foreign tourists who are stranded on in that particular remote village, women and children, tourists from neighboring states, chief secretary of the particular state, इस टाइप से. So this is the kind of questions, these are the kind of questions that are asked. Some theoretical questions regarding ethics are asked. Ethics क्या होता है, morality क्या होती है, different approaches to ethics क्या है. So this is there in paper 4. You have to write 3 hours for each paper. There are 2 papers conducted every day and this process is 5 days long. 5 दिन तक आपको लगातार दो पेपर लिखने हैं 3-3 घंटे के. बहुत लिखना होता है. Finally, once your mains is done, then you are called for the interview. Now, interview is the personality test. In this personality test, you will be asked, you will be judged upon various aspects of your personality, whether or not you are fit to become a civil servant. Okay? In that, knowledge is also questioned, but your approach to that knowledge is also questioned. Are you really ready to become a civil servant? Do you have it in you? That the qualities of being a civil servant, officer-like qualities जिनको बोलते हैं. So this is the brief process of exam. Again, as I said in the beginning, 3 stages हैं. Total 1 साल लगता है result आने में finally. The exam is conducted in June somewhere and the final result will come out in May. करीब 1 साल लगता है पूरा एग्जाम प्रोसेस में. उससे पहले 1 साल लगता है तैयारी करने में. तो जब तक आपके दिमाग में क्लियर नहीं है अबाउट दी व्हाई, you will not be able to sustain. Many people think that civil services is a job. It's not a job. It's not called civil services job. It's called civil services. It is a service. So if you are expecting Shosha, that you will be very famous, you will be in front of the cameras or the newspapers everywhere, you will be given credit for the policy. No. As a civil servant, you have to work behind the doors. As a civil servant, you will be expected to work for the people. You will be expected to implement or execute the schemes of the government. So it's not that job in like आप जैसे movies में देखते हो उस type की job, वो नहीं है. So make sure you are clear in your mind that why you want to become a civil servant. Unless you are clear, the amount of dedication that is required will not come. You will have doubts in your mind at many times. This exam is such that it generates doubts in minds of people. 1 साल नहीं होता है, 2 साल नहीं होता है, 3 साल नहीं होता है, उसके बाद लगता है क्यों कर रहे हैं हमसे. But the key is to persevere here. You have to persevere. And you will be only able to persevere unless and until you are clear in your mind about that why question. So make sure you've answered that question. And I'll call upon Ashish sir now. He'll talk us through his journey and how it is to become a civil servant, what all things you can expect to become a civil servant. What does a day of a civil servant be like? Right? Completing all his duties and then coming here at 6 p.m. to deliver a lecture here. So please welcome Ashish sir.
Dr. V.K. Nigam, Associate Dean, Students Welfare, who probably has just left, Dr. Kirti Abhishek, and Mr. Manmal Pathak, faculty from Vision IAS Coaching Institute, and my dear students. So, Mr. Aditya has given a short overview of what is the pattern of the civil services examination. I know that's only a starter, you will need to know much more. But then the idea of this, the workshop that is being conducted here, is to just see which all of you are interested in this career, civil services, and then give you just some kind of a curtain raiser of how to go forward about it. So naturally this is not enough, but then our intention here is to just, his intention is to sensitize you to the preparation scheme, and my intention here is to motivate you to join this career in view of my experience as a civil servant. So I have completed 9 years of service. I joined in 2008. I am from Haryana. I also am an engineer. I am a civil engineer. I did my engineering I finished in 2004. So it took me about 3 attempts to compete for this examination. Now, why, or let's say rather at your stage, I don't know, are there first year students, second year, third year, fourth year? So fourth year we should have expected more, but then good to see. I think the maximum probably were first year, maybe or second year. So if I were to imagine myself as a first year or a second year student, so I wouldn't even know what are the, not fully know what are the various career options available. So the various options can be probably as an engineer, whatever engineering you are doing, as a hardcore engineer. Another can be managerial job. People, some of us either do an MBA or not do an MBA. They go and join some company in a managerial position instead of a technical position. Another can be in a software kind of a role. So when I was doing my engineering, then I remember students from all kinds of engineering used to go into software. I am not sure right now also if that's the case. Is that the case right now also? So chemical engineers can also go into software coding. Fourth year would know whether some fourth year students are here. Another is academics. We are seeing some faculty who is here. It's a very interesting and a very fulfilling job. Others can be consulting jobs. And maybe then maybe may come the civil services option. So I will not say if it's the best career or the second best career. I will not comment on that. I like to say, I like to share what is probably, how will life be or what are the advantages of being in the civil services, what will life be as a civil servant. Of course I can't, probably in a short time I can't give the full depth and breadth of this thing, but I'll try my best to do that. So now civil services, so somebody asked why join civil, Mr. Aditya asked why join civil services. And somebody said serve the country, and then we had a round of laughter. Fine. But yeah, maybe actually the guy who said there can be two options. Maybe he meant it, maybe he did not mean it. I don't know. Maybe there are many of us sitting who will actually probably mean it when they say serve the country actually. So yeah, civil services is the arm of the government through which the government functions, implements its programs, formulates its programs. So yes, you can be a part of the government, and through that you can implement the programs, help in contribution towards development, removal of poverty, welfare. Yeah, you can do all that. So this definitely is there. Now, what about, let's say, what are the other advantages? See, this one big advantage is that we work in various fields. I have worked in health department. I'm right now working in urban department. Tomorrow I can be in energy department. Another fine day in my life I can be in rural development department. So we have a wide area where we can work. Now, because I have, how does that interest you? Sometimes people say, when we are into a job for some time, we can get bored of it. So that's why people jump companies. Some of you might be having senior siblings who are in corporate job who might have shared to you about how they might like to switch jobs because they get bored of it. So civil services offers a diverse variety of various positions which you can hold. That's a great deal. About now something which may interest you, salary. Salaries don't compare to corporate. Corporate, maybe if you join, somebody joins corporate, he or she may get much higher salaries. That is not there. But then maybe there are some perks. For example, a car, for example, a house at a subsidized price, so you can add that to your salary, but still it may not be enough, or it may not compare with your counterpart in the corporate. But then salary is not the only thing which you join the civil services for. There are many other things which should motivate you to be in the civil services. It's very simple. There are some positives, there are some negatives of being in the civil services. So each one of you has to measure these pro and con and decide for yourself whether you want to be in the civil services or not. Now, another important thing, you get a lot of recognition when you are in the civil services. There is some kind of a respect which you get. There's a social status once one gets into the civil service. So that's another pro of being in the civil service. So it's up to us, it's up to each individual of us how we weigh the pro and the con of the civil services as a career option and decide to go for it. So now in the civil services there are various kinds of service. IAS is only one of the many services which you can get when you attempt the civil services examination. IAS, then there is the foreign service, IFS, police service, audit and account service, railway service. I'm not giving you the exact names because you might not be interested in that. Defense account service, defense service, so telecommunication service, statistical service. So there are various kinds of services which you can get into. All of them are different wings or parts of the government. So this is what I have to say about the civil services as a group. Now let's say I heard Mr. Aditya speaking about preparation. So I'm not going to the specifics about the books and all. What I want to say is, when we decide that let me choose civil services as a career option, then probably while being in the institute, while being in the college, probably you may not be able to do much about that. What you can do while being in college is probably just to make yourself aware of what's happening around. Maybe just read newspapers, just read some magazines. That's probably the best you should do, because I feel that because we are doing a degree here, so we should do proper justice with that degree. We should learn whatever that degree has to offer, and only then we should start full time with the preparation. But yes, you can start the sensitization process. You can get in touch with people who are preparing, the seniors in the institute which are preparing, or maybe senior bureaucrats, maybe somebody in the family. You can do that. What I will suggest is, you have to decide whether you want to be in civil services. Then you have to just sensitize yourself with what's happening around, which state I am living in, what are the various issues here, what is happening in Jharkhand, what is happening in India, what is happening in the world. So just any newspaper, a broad reading, not a Hindi newspaper, because they are full of masala news. Any English newspaper I think will do. I will not name any specific newspaper. It can be the Hindu, which is difficult to get in this part. It can be Times of India, Hindustan Times, Indian Express, Tribune, anything. will suffice. But the idea is to just know beyond what is outside the walls of this institute, or maybe because while many of us as school-going children, we don't really acquaint ourselves with the national affairs and international affairs. So we must do that. Once you probably pass out from the college with flying colors, then probably what I suggest is you should go to, depending on what you are comfortable with, you can go to one of these centers, maybe Delhi, maybe Chennai, maybe Hyderabad, or maybe Bangalore, depending on what is near to your place and what is more convenient. Because I believe coaching institutes, one can prepare on their own also, but then they help a lot because it's a very vast syllabus. So any good coaching institute will help you do these, do the preparation in a shorter time than you would have done on your own. Again, I am saying there are many of us in the civil services who have not gone to a coaching institute and still have cleared. So I'm not saying it's a necessity, but it's something which is desirable. I myself did join a coaching institute to help myself out. And then you have to choose a good option. Now, what is a good option? Good option is something which interests you. Preferably not engineering, as they are low scoring. So preferably not engineering or a science subject. It's difficult. I had maths as an optional, so I had a terrible time in preparing for it and scoring in it. So, and my other option was geography. In those times there used to be 2 options. Now there is only 1 option which you have to select. So then I would suggest very strongly against a science option. In a social science option, just take anything, whatever suits you, interests you, or you think you can manage, depending on, maybe you have access to somebody who would have prepared, maybe you have access to somebody's notes. It all depends on that. So, and then when you choose an optional, then you should be in good company. You should have a group. It just helps, Preparation is a very, very mentally challenging task. I believe more than what we read, the preparation process prepares us for the life that lies ahead. The life in civil services, or in fact any other career, is very tough. These days, if you want to be in any good company, vast topics, everything under the sun can be asked. Because of the very nature of all this, I believe it leaves a candidate who has prepared psychologically very, very tough. So since preparation is going to be psychologically taxing on you, so you must have a good company. Some friends, some circle where you go, where you discuss. All kinds of information flows in, what good material has come in the market, what is the trend of various options this year. So all this you get through a set of friends or circle, or acquaintances. So in short, there are various career options that lie ahead of you. Civil services is one of them, and it's something which is worth it. You can consider it as a career option. It has various advantages and disadvantages. Advantages, now each one of us has to wait for his or her own self and decide on what do you want to do. If you so decide to take civil services as an option, then you should right now concentrate on your degree and try and get yourself, just have a general awareness of events of national and international importance, economic importance, political importance, financial importance, sports, arts, culture, everything. Then once you finish off your degree, you go to probably one of these centers like Delhi, Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore. You go there, you choose a nice optional which suits you, which interests you, and while preparing, you choose a nice set of friends with whom you can interact and who can be your emotional support during the very, very emotionally taxing and unstable preparation period. So that's what I have to say, and I give you my best wishes from my side for your career and life that lies ahead. And I will welcome any questions to myself or to Mr. Aditya for related to what I have said or related to what he has said or anything which we may not have said.
It was really good hearing to you, sir. Sir, I would like to ask, what is the part that current affairs actually play in any civil services exam? Because I have been trying, I'm a 4th year student, and I'll be appearing for the civil services exam this year, and anthropology will be my optional because I have read a lot of books regarding it, but as novels, not as textbooks, but I find that field pretty interesting. Secondly, it has been a challenge for me to balance the static portion and the current affairs portion, because I always get confused. Like I'm reading newspapers and Yojana and all those stuff for a week, and then I do not get time and making notes, and then next week I'm doing only static portion. So how to balance all those things? That is one of my questions.
So current affairs is a very, very, very important part. You can have something. Current affairs is a very important part of the whole syllabus. Progressively, what UPSC has been doing, I haven't seen the latest question papers, but when I was preparing, so I saw that over the years, since, see, even in your engineering entrance examinations, you would have seen that it has gone a sea change. I took the JEE in 2000. So after 2000, I think JEE saw a lot of dilution because they were saying that JEE is so tough that it's a disadvantage for the people from rural background. So probably that was the reason given, and maybe it's just too tough, just like that. So they diluted the JEE exam also. So the examination framing authorities, they always look forward to keep changing the trends of the question papers so as to just attract the best talent from the lot that is there. So the civil services exam also has seen a lot of change. So earlier the questions were more factual, in the 80s and maybe the early 90s. But then we saw that questions became more and more analytical. Then they started having a current affairs component also. So for example, if there's a theory, then they will ask something about the theory, and then they will say how is it relevant in the current India or current world or in the current age. So they link current affairs a lot these days. So current affairs in as itself also is now, I'm sure, is a big portion of the general awareness, the general studies now. But even optionals also, they are now including more and more of current affairs. So one must be very conversant with current affairs. See, current affairs, not only that. What is your name, dear?
So my name is Prakhar.
Prakhar, current affairs, not only it helps you scoring, but it also helps in building a perspective.
Yes.
Once you get into civil services, you must know, what is the economy of India like? What was the history of India like? What is the art and culture of India like? So current affairs not only helps you in scoring marks, it helps you in understanding India and in better giving your services when you become a civil servant. So it helps in that also. So we must focus on that. If you also want to add something.
I'd like to add a little bit to this, because you said the balance between current and static. Yeah. What is current? Current is not a particular event, it goes on.
Yes.
Any particular event. It is a series of events, chain of occurring events which are happening. In your exam, you will not be asked about any particular event. You will be asked about its relevant in the contemporary times. You can use the knowledge or the examples from your current understandings to include in your answer. Ultimately, you'll have to reason out with the static portion which you have read. जैसे एंथ्रोपोलॉजी आपका ऑप्शन है या फिर इकोनॉमिक्स मान लो आपका ऑप्शन है, तो आपको थ्योरी से ही बेस करना है और उसको करंट रेलेवेंस, करंट कंटेक्स्ट में एग्जांपल्स के साथ बताना है. So obviously current affairs is very important, but there is no replacement for any of these things. Current cannot replace.
Yes,
static,
both of the
static
things
cannot
has to go hand in hand,
Yes,
definitely.
You have to use that reasoning which we have studied in the static portion and apply it in with current examples.
Yeah. So, as a question to you, being an economics faculty, I have covered most of the economics portion, but I am. Can you just suggest a broad spectrum approach for economics for the general studies?
For the mains.
For the mains and the prelims, both.
See, for prelims, in detail, if you want to see, then we have series of lectures about how to prepare for civil services. You can watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
About the sources which you can refer to. Broadly, briefly, I'll tell you. You can read. You have to read NCRTs. There is no substitute
Yes,
for that.
right.
You have to read the entire economic survey. There is no substitute for that. Next, you have to acquaint yourself with the current developments, and you have to think about what impact they are going to have on India. For example, if you look at previous year's question papers, this year's, if you look at 2017 papers, it was most of the papers, many questions were of the form. For example, what is the nature of the budget? Budget की theme क्या है और उस theme का क्या application है, क्या-क्या चीजें हैं उसके अंदर important है. Then they asked about how has poverty been affected by the 1991 reforms. They asked about how has labor-intensive industry been affected by the 1991 reform. What is the performance on exports? You have to think about the current developments. You have to link them. With whatever you have read in your static portion, and then you can answer it. The best source is economic survey and newspapers for that.
Okay,
There is no specific one book which you need.
So, like for NCRT's economic survey, and like there's a portal called Arthapedia also.
Yes.
So these will suffice. There is no need for going for Ramesh Singh sir's book and all those.
How can I say no need for going? See, every book is good.
No, means I'm saying that these things, if you if done on, like if you concentrate on these things, the economic survey and the newspapers and the blogs which are coming out, and revise them, then will it be?
See again, as sir said, why do we read current affairs? It helps you give that understanding, that broader perspective.
Yes.
That is why you read current affairs. So once you have that broader perspective, you can use that broader perspective's current events with your theoretical knowledge and then write in the exam.
Yes, sir.
Please do not ask me to limit you to certain sources.
Okay.
Because if I tell you कि भाई ये सब चीज पढ़ लो उससे हो जाएगा, or you will come to me and say कि भाई ये तो इस चीज में दिया हुआ था आपने.
I think that is true, sir. That is important.
You cannot limit. You have to prepare smartly.
Yes, sir.
You must be aware of those current events and you must be clear in your mind about the reasoning behind it. That should be sufficient. Right? So read a few sources. Yojana you should read. Economic survey, newspaper. That should be enough.
I would like to add something. See, we are not, while preparing, we are not preparing to be, it's not an academic exercise.
Yes.
We are not trying to do a PhD in economics or in an optional, whatever optional anthropology or geography or math. We don't intend to do a PhD. Our intention should be to use his word, we have to prepare smartly. We will have to understand, this is the broad spectrum. I'll have to cover the whole spectrum. I don't need to go into unreasonable depths. Some of us have a tendency, to get sucked into the depths. And that causes our fall. Many of us have that tendency, and it's very seductive that way, depths. So we just get sucked into it. And we'll start getting deeper into the theories, and we'll start reading various books on single theory. So in one theory only or one topic only. So that's something which we should avoid. When we are preparing all kinds of topics, we should cover only reasonable depth in that, not beyond that. So whenever you start a topic and you are doing it, remind yourself, PhD नहीं करनी है मुझे इसके, मुझे सिर्फ prepare करना है, number लेने हैं, select होकर के I have to do well while giving the civil service.
Sir, I am currently in 4th year and I am willing to give PSC this year also. So, sir, what would be your advice for someone who is doing for job after?
Have you already got a job?
I have got jobs, so I'm willing to join.
And just one thing, don't waste your attempt. If you are prepared, only then give. Otherwise, there is no need to do.
For further details also, sir.
Like further, if you have to give, you have to make that decision. You'll have to choose to whether you want to quit or quit the current job and become a civil servant.
So while working, we can prepare.
Of course, you can prepare. Many people clear the exams while working.
So sir, what would be the strategy that you advise?
See, while preparing, while doing a job, preparation is possible. It depends on your abilities, your grasping abilities, your memorizing abilities. Everything depends on that. So some of my friends who are in the civil services, they were doing a job while they got settled, but they're very few. Typically, it may not be possible for a person of average or above average abilities to prepare, because the nature of examination is such. But then it doesn't mean that you cannot prepare while doing a job and do it. When I passed out, so I joined a company. I worked for some time. I worked for about 6 months, and then I quit. So my idea was I was not extremely sure. I was reasonably sure, but there was some element of doubt. So I thought, okay, let me join this job. So I joined a job in Gurgaon. I worked there for some time, and then I decided, this is not what I would like to do all my life. Of course, that job does not give me a reflection of everything that corporate sector is about. But then that was my, you can say, last push which I required to prepare. So exact preparation while any job these days, if they pay you well, if it's a well-paying job, which I am sure it will be a well-paying job, then if they pay you an X amount, they will try to extract 5x times the value from you. So I don't know if you will have time left to prepare. So maybe you can join the job. You can see for yourself how much time are you left with yourself to prepare for it. And if you think it is reasonable enough, then you can probably go ahead for it. Otherwise, you will like to. If you are very, very, very unsure, you can join the job for a while, and then maybe later on you can quit or you can try. So that is what I would suggest.
You can evaluate yourself with some tests. That way you will come to know whether you are on the right track, and make a better decision after that.
Good evening, sir. Sir, I am second year student, and I am working on some social projects from last 2 years. But sir, my family is forcing me to go for civil services, and this is what fascinates me. That is why I am working with a social project. And I have met many of IS officers in Delhi, and they have shared their journey. That fascinates me too. But sir, exact reason why I should go for UPSC, what stops me is I feel like I will be limited to a particular job, particular role that I have to play in the society. And likewise what I feel in this way how independently I am working it's my choice on which social issue I want to work on. And sir, how should I clear this doubt of mine? I have a lot of time for preparation and all, and I am sure if I get that reason cleared, so I will be able to crack this exam. Not to just fulfill the dreams of my parents, but sir, if it is not willing me to
Have a seat. So firstly, anything which we do in life should be as per our wishes, including the choice of the career, and including the choice of life partner which we will have. So there will be many of us sitting here who will be thrust with a particular guy or a girl. This is who you marry with. Or if you have a let's say you are in a relation with somebody, so they will try to find all kinds of faults in that person. ये ऐसी है, ये वैसा है, इसमें ये कमी है, इसका ये है. So my advice, my suggestion to you is, please choose a career of your own choice. Choose a girl or a boy of your own choice and get married to them. So, no, let me first complete. to what he has said. So, does it give? You are saying you feel free while you are doing these projects, small projects, right? So, see, any job which you get. So there are two kinds of freedom. One is freedom. Being in a job, you want freedom to work in different fields. Another is, I don't want any boss. I don't want, restrictions on time. I want, मैं आराम से, I don't know, engineering time में हम लोग भी बहुत लेट सोते थे. I think the same will be the cases here. Local land पर movies होती थी, songs होते थे, है ना? तो वो सब होगा. So some of us want to sleep late, get up late. So you may want that kind of freedom also. So I'll address both kinds of freedom. So you won't get that kind of freedom here in this religion. Or any job, yeah, any job. I mean, there are some corporate jobs which offer flexible timing. But then still बहुत सारा restriction है. भी project कोई some particular event है तो करना है, some particular project है तो you have to give time. So that the system as a whole, society trains us to be obedient, to be compliant. That's the nature of society. Have you seen Tamasha? Yes. Tamasha देखी होगी, बहुत लोगों ने देखी होगी. What hit me the most was that we all become robotic. Once अभी many of you are like Ved, जो Ved और Vedant, Ved जो the one in Corsica, Ranveer Kapoor in Corsica. Many of us argue Ranveer Kapoor of Corsica right now. After you join job, you will become your Ranveer Kapoor in later on in the movie. वैसे हो जाते हैं. This is what the society does to us. Not only job, generally we parents भी शुरू से कि ये ऐसे रहना है, इतने टाइम पे सोना है, अब उठना है, ये नहीं खेलना है, उससे नहीं मिलना है. All kinds of things they do. फिर टीचर्स स्कूल के अंदर वो नहीं बचते हैं कि जी आप ऐसे पढ़िए, ये करिए, आपको क्लास में हंसना नहीं है, आपको सीरियसली बैठना है, ऐसा है, आपको ये म्यूजिक नहीं सुनना है, आपको ये गेम नहीं खेलना है. All kinds of issues, हर time, this society is full of those kinds of things. We have to break out of that mold. We have to fight for our rights, to fight for our freedom, or freedom to choose even a small thing. कि मैं आज उस रिश्तेदार के घर जाऊं या नहीं जाऊं, ये भी freedom होनी चाहिए. जो हमें घसीट के लेके जाया जाता है. So freedom in the society as it stands now थोड़ा difficult है. थोड़ा सिस्टम है, टाइमिंग, ऑफिस टाइमिंग्स हैं, आपको जाना पड़ेगा. फ्रीडम टू वर्क इन डिफरेंट फील्ड्स, दैट इज देयर इफ यू गेट इनटू द आईएएस. अब और जो सर्विसेज हैं, दे आर आल्सो क्वाइट लिमिटेड इन देयर स्कोप. बट देन विद द मोदी गवर्नमेंट प्रेजेंटली, ये लोग व्हाट दे आर ट्राइंग टू डू इज कि गिव अ मोर अपॉर्चुनिटी टू अदर सर्विसेज आल्सो. पहले गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया के अंदर आईएएस का परसेंटेज यूज्ड टू बी वेरी वेरी हाई. अब मोदी जी somehow he has this philosophy, उनका अपना है कि वो he is giving more representation to other services also. So whether you get into IAS or other services, you will have diversity of work. For example, I can tell about myself. I worked in health sector for some time, for 2 years. Health sector में बहुत कुछ है. सब सेंटर में हमारे जिला अस्पताल से लेकर के एक छोटे गांव में अस्पताल है, रिम्स है, उसके अंदर आपकी दवा हैं, डॉक्टर्स हैं, नर्सेज हैं, इन सबको आपको अरेंज करना है. Then I am right now working in urban department. Tomorrow I may be working in renewable energy. Other day I may be working in irrigation department. Other day I can be working in forest department. So it's a wide variety of jobs. So you will have wide variety of jobs. Diversity is not a problem in civil services, particularly in the IAS. And freedom is an issue in not only in government system but in society as a whole. The way it stands right now.
Good evening, sir. My question will be to you, Aditya, sir. I have 3 options for my optional subjects. I would like to ask you, according to you, which of the 3 is better for me? Out of history, political science, or public administration? I personally love history and I'm also good at remembering things, but my father is of the opinion that I should select the subjects which will further help me in the kind of work that I'm going to do further if I become an IAS. So according to him, public administration or political science would be better suited for that. So I wanted to ask you if I should go after history or those subjects?
But just to add to one point of this, you talked about freedom to do, ना? देखो कुछ ना करने की आजादी को कंफ्यूज मत करो कुछ भी करने की आजादी। Regarding your question about choosing options, see, पहली बात, as sir said that here in mathematics and geography as options. During your training, you will be trained to deal with the government, to deal with the people, to execute the task of the government. तो पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन इस वजह से लेना कि आगे जाके करियर में हेल्प करेगा, उसका कोई मतलब नहीं। आपको सब कुछ सिखाते जाएगा और ऑन जॉब ट्रेनिंग से आप मतलब सब कुछ सीख सकते हैं। पहली चीज, I'll repeat what I said about optional. Optional is something in which you are expected to answer as an expert, not only as a generalist. Therefore, it is expected that you have some deep knowledge about optional. कुछ आपको पता होना चाहिए उसके बारे में। तो ऑप्शनल ऐसा चूज करना है, you have to choose such an optional in which you can sustain yourself for about 1 or 2 years and get a deep understanding of that subject. It can be anything. आप इंजीनियरिंग जो भी आपका सब्जेक्ट है, आप चाहो तो वो ले सकते हो because you already have a head start other than people. मान लो आप सिविल इंजीनियर हो तो सिविल इंजीनियरिंग ऑप्शनल है, तो आपकी बाकी लोगों के कंपैरिजन में एक हेड स्टार्ट ऑलरेडी है सिविल इंजीनियरिंग। अगेन इट्स अप टू यू व्हाट यू वांट टू डू। मार्क्स के बेसिस पे व्हाट इज द ट्रेंड राइट नाउ गोइंग ऑन, नोबडी कैन प्रेडिक्ट दैट व्हाट विल बी द ट्रेंड दिस ईयर। फॉर एग्जांपल, लास्ट ईयर द मार्क्स इन ज्योग्राफी वर क्वाइट अबव एवरेज, अच्छे मार्क्स थे, बट दिस ईयर मेनी स्टूडेंट्स हु ऑप्टेड फॉर ज्योग्राफी दे कुड नॉट गेट। So you cannot choose your optional basis on the basis of trends of the exam which you have still not given. You have to choose your option according to your liking. Choose a subject which you think you can sustain for 2 years. अब ये बहुत जनरल बात है, मैंने आपको बोल तो दी कि भाई आप सस्टेन कर सकते हो, बट दिस इज वेरी जनरल, क्योंकि आपको तो पता नहीं कितने 26 ऑप्शन है, आपको पता नहीं कि भाई एंथ्रोपोलॉजी में क्या है, इकोनॉमिक्स में क्या है, हिस्ट्री में क्या है। सो अगेन देयर इज अ सेट ऑफ ऑप्शनल व्हिच पीपल चूज फ्रॉम, कुछ 5-6 सब्जेक्ट हैं उसमें से पीपल लोग चूज करते हैं। तो जैसे सर ने बोला था कि ऑप्शनल के लिए आपको जो स्टडी ग्रुप है, तो आप स्टडी ग्रुप होना चाहिए एक प्लेस वेयर यू कैन गेट गाइडेंस फ्रॉम योर सीनियर्स और फ्रॉम समवन एल्स। इस टाइप से ऑप्शनल चूज करोगे तो ज्यादा अच्छा रहेगा, जहां से आपको हेल्प ज्यादा मिल सकती है, इजीली मिल सकती है। भाई आप तो आपकी क्लीन स्लेट है, आप चाहे ज्योग्राफी लो, चाहे इकोनॉमिक्स लो, चाहे हिस्ट्री लो, आपकी किसी में अभी कोई कॉम्पिटेंस नहीं है एट द करंट मोमेंट, तो आप सभी कुछ ले सकते हो। तो वो ऑप्शन लो जिसके अंदर आपको लगता है हेल्प अच्छे से मिल जाएगी, अवेलेबल होगी इजीली, तो चूज दैट ऑप्शन। ठीक है, राइट नाउ मेनी पीपल आर गोइंग फॉर PSIR, पॉलिटिकल साइंस एंड इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन, अभी कई लोग ले रहे हैं उसको, बट आई विल नॉट सजेस्ट कि बेस्ड ऑन अदर पीपल्स चूजिंग यू चूज योर ऑप्शन। ठीक है।
And sir, another question from you, Ashish sir. So it's not your work domain, but could you please give me some insight on Indian foreign services?
Insight means the kind of job.
Yeah, like you told in detail about the kind of work an IAS has to do, but I specifically want to be an IFS officer, so I would really like to know the kind of work they do. I have an idea, but since you are more experienced, I would like to know from you.
So, India all my life. If you are willing, firstly, 30, let's say typically your service duration will be for 35 years. So, at least 15, 20, 25 years you'll have to be out of India. Yeah, some of there are various ways in which they can be in India also. So that's why I said, but there is a minimum duration for which you have to be abroad. Now, abroad is not only Paris and Vienna and Switzerland and Los Angeles and Las Vegas and Australia. Foreign is also Congo and Nigeria and Ivory Coast and Afghanistan, Iran and Pakistan and Nepal and Bangladesh. So foreign services, all of them. When I believe we get into a zone at the time of the service. Jab you join service, you will go into training, so you will be given a zone. So you are into that zone all your life. Let's pray you don't get into the Africa zone.
They are not people are not transferred.
I am not very sure about that, but there are zones. I am sure there are ways to manage that. So one, we should be ready for all kinds of foreign postings. Not to say that but on a more serious note, any country which you go, you will be in the capitals of that country. Even if that is Congo or Nigeria, still you will be in the capital of that country, which will have sufficient facilities to keep you comfortable. That's not going to be a problem as such. So as an IFS, now we see that this government and maybe the previous government, there's a lot of economic diplomacy also. So now we have globalized world and economies are interlinked. So that means that Indian economy is very closely related to economies of other countries. So which means that between countries, it's one of the important components now is economics also. What kind of things we purchase, what do we sell to them. So that adds another flavor to IFS. You will also be looking at businesses, what kind of relation should we have with this country, what is the strength of that country, what should we cultivate in that country. So typically your role as a foreign service is to promote economic diplomacy between two countries. Politics is obviously there, Russia is on our part, China is not on our part. We have to cultivate, find more partners, strengthen the current partners. So it's very interesting. The job is very interesting. And add to it the current flavor of economic diplomacy. Now, one issue which I must say, it's a practical issue, of getting, of who to marry. As in, because, you will have to find someone, you will be transferred to various countries, so you'll have to keep that in your mind. If you're okay with that, and just go. So, please go ahead with that. So, foreign service people typically have a little issue. It's a practical issue, I
Find someone in the service.
Yeah, so, of course, yeah, of course, yeah, but in just telling you, that's something which you need to keep in your mind when you do that, and you will be always away from India. So if you're open with that, please go ahead. It's a wonderful career.
Sir, for a college student, sir, how to start with NCERT, sir, our approach?
How to start with?
NCERTs, like notes making or something else like that.
How to start with NCERT? Start reading them. What else?
And how to start notes making from that? From now.
How to start notes making?
From NCERTs. Because they are much lengthy.
At least read the books first. Okay? And in the college student, your priority is your current academics. As sir said already, you should acquaint yourself with the current events, but your priority is your academics. आपको पहले पास होना है और अच्छे मार्क्स के साथ पास होना है. That will reflect, that will show the discipline, your commitment towards anything which you are doing. You can prepare side by side, read NCERT books or read newspaper. There is no need to prepare notes as such. Right?
Good evening, sir. Sir, my question to you is, as you already said that it took 3 attempts to you to clear the exam. How did you cope up with your failure? Means I have given 3 attempts in NDA exam. Every time I got conference up. So how did you manage with your failure?
See, as I said, it's the preparation phase is psychologically very, very taxing. So there were moments in which I was very emotionally fragile and on the verge of breaking. That they were there. But then one has to constantly motivate himself or herself about the career which you are looking at. Maybe you can look at towering personalities of that service, maybe some names which you know. You can keep motivating yourself by telling you what all. It depends on what attracts you. You remind yourself why you wanted to be in the civil services. So keep reminding yourself of that. So for me, for example, I remember I used to have a board in my room. And I would pin some newspaper articles, some senior bureaucrat who has done something nice, has received a reward, or done something, or has brought a new policy, anything like that, something which motivates me. So, or maybe, some people who were selected, whoever I instinctively liked, or their interviews I will pin up on my board, just to motivate myself. So, So remind yourself of the reason why you want to be in the civil service. Want to add to it?
Sir, once we are done with the exam, what kind of life it is in the training period at LBS and all?
See, the life in LBS will be the most wonderful time of your life, because you would have just undergone a very tough time of preparation. You would have just cleared. So, and you will, at your heart, you will be like a college student, but for the world you are now an officer. So you will have that innocence. You will be really childlike, and you will be very happy, and that's going to be the best time in your life. You will have friends around. You will make new friends who are in services. So all of them from different backgrounds, they come together in a place and meet. So that's going to be, I still would say, my best time of my life was probably in my academy days. So it's going to be a really wonderful time. There are some studies to do. Yeah, we have to get up for the morning PT at 6 a.m. I don't know, some of us may hate it, getting up at 6 a.m. I used to hate it myself. I used to get a lot of show causes for missing the morning PT. But yes, it will be very, very enjoyable.
So, in recent times, a lot of online platforms have come up. What they do is, Daily Hindu, they take the editorials, they make video lectures on it, and they publish it online. And a lot of current affairs, past topics, or what they have done is they have made video lectures which, like, you can complete it quickly. So, do you suggest that we should go for that, or reading from the books?
I would not suggest you to take shortcuts. Read these editorials, newspapers yourself. See, all these shortcuts, notes which are available in the market, or some video summaries which are available, you can use them for a revision purpose. इससे ज़्यादा नहीं. But the first reading has to be complete. For example, newspaper आपको अपने आप पढ़ना है. Economic survey आपको अपने आप पढ़ना है. कोई भी किताब, editorial, anything you have to read by yourself. After 1 or 2 months, when the time for exam comes, you can revise it from those sources.
So, how much of an IAS work or any bureaucrat for that matter is affected by the people that are in power, like MPs and MLAs? How much of your work is affected by that?
See, this is democracy. So democracy means Prime Minister हैं और Chief Minister हैं. So if you see, I mean, more than the Cabinet Secretary of India, people know Prime Minister of India. So the policy is usually driven by the political ideology. I will not say political ideology, I will say political leaders, not ideology, leaders. So whoever is in power, they will like to drive it. It does not mean that there is no scope for civil service. There is a very important scope for civil services. It's the civil services which will tell the political, either the ministers and the prime ministers, this is what we should do. These are the 3 options which are available before you. All 3 of them are equal, or let's say my priority is 1, 2, 3, and then you now take a decision on this. So final say is mostly of the political head of the government, but then that has very, very important feedback from the executive wing of the government, which is the bureaucracy. So the leaders, they give direction to the government, the way in which development will go, and typically that direction also is guided by the bureaucrats which are behind the scene, and also once he has given the direction, ऐसे करना है. So then the bureaucrats have to go in that direction and take that forward and actually materialize that form of development. So practically we face pressures from MPs, MLA, this and that. वो pressure रहता है. But then that pressure, is also there in the corporate sector. उसके अंदर अलग से उसमें bosses हैं, colleagues हैं, politics कर रहे हैं, एक दूसरे को they're trying to pull them down, all kinds of things. You can't escape that pressure anywhere you go. So yes, that's the pressure because you're an important person. If somebody like MP is trying to pressurize you, you are an important person. Just somebody going on the street, MP would not like to pressurize that person. You are an important person. That's why an MP or an MLA will be after your life. You know. So yes, somebody wanted to ask from here.
Actually, the question got covered. Thank you.
Currently, sir, I am in third year, and sir, I want to appear next year. Therefore, while I study myself, self-study, when I do self-study, and when I get some doubt, then I Google it and then I get some information. But sir, if that guidelines can be given in our college, either Vision IS, during either weekend courses or some flexibility in your timing, so that we can also join the classes, then it will be beneficial for us.
We have online platform, you can take online classes. They will be available to you 24/7, 365. Well, you can watch those classes, you can enroll in the classes and they are available online. You don't, the requirement for going to Delhi, that is not there. आप क्लास में लैपटॉप पे बैठ के देखो, रूम पे बैठ के देखनी, ग्राउंड पे बैठ के देखनी, जिस टाइम बैठ के देखना देखो, your doubts will also be covered. Okay, you can always raise your doubts. There is a person who is sitting to answer those doubts.
Good evening, sir. So I would like to point out that we all agree that the success rate of cracking UPSC is very low, sir. So everyone talks about the 12,000, the 2,300 and the 782 people. But no one talks about the lakhs and lakhs people who fail to crack UPSC. I would like to ask if this perseverance is the key, that if they persevere long enough, they would be able to crack, be in a successful position in their life later on, or they just drop back into oblivion, sir, if they don't do that.
See, there is a limited number of seats. That's definitely there. I assure you one thing, whoever prepares for this exam seriously, he comes out as a better citizen. He comes out as an informed citizen, a responsible citizen with such kind of awareness that whichever field he later on chooses to go, he will excel in that. That's what I have seen. Serious candidates, there are some people जो ऐसे पेरेंट्स ने धक्का मार दिया, चले गए, वहाँ पर भी टाइम पास करके 2-3 साल अपना फिर they join some job or go back to their family businesses or something. But anyone who has been a serious candidate, he becomes a better person when he comes out of that profession. Of course, seats are limited. So in fact now again it has come down. I was shocked to see ये वाला 782 वाला figure I saw only yesterday, day before. I think the notification came out 2 days ago. So I saw the increasing trend. When I cleared, it was about 674 vacancies. Then it increased to 1400 sometime 2014, and then it has now again started coming down. So we all must persevere. See, आपको तो कितनी सीट चाहिए आपको? एक ही सीट. There are 782 seats. So you should aim for that post. मेरे को एक ही सीट चाहिए और वो एक है. जब तक एक सीट गवर्नमेंट नोटिफाई कर रही है, you have a chance. You can aim for that. You must study for that, and then leave it to God and trust God in this process.
Give your best. That's all.
Good evening, sir. Sir, I am a student from math, and I want some suggestion for optional from you, as you are from math.
Maths, I don't know. आजकल maths का trend क्या है? But if you studied maths, maths which degree is maths है?
Integrated MSc.
Integrated MSc.
Maths and computer.
अच्छा MCA वही. Maths and computer applications really. So one is maths. You will have to see क्या maths है. See, I did not study maths.
Sir, no one suggests me maths, sir. I asked for many people, but no one suggests me.
Yeah, there are very few people who study maths these days. I mean, कितने हैं आप में से? I mean, कोई civil engineering, computer engineering, electrical engineering, आपका degree तो कम ही है. So there are very few people who study maths. Even in the pure science colleges, maths come here. See, maths, it's not that people don't score in maths. People score in maths, people get good scores in maths. Now, see, with the same kind of effort, I scored much more in geography than in maths. So, I don't know what is the trend these days about maths as an option. But since you have studying maths, maybe you can consider it as an option as well. It's not wrong, people take maths, people score in maths as well. If you don't want to take maths, then again, whatever we both of us have said before, just look at the syllabus, see what interests you, and just take that. That's what I would say. Do you want to add maths?
See, again, totally individual choice. It's totally individual choice. I can give you example. One of my friends, he got the highest marks in mathematics 2 years back, highest marks. But he was there in the reserve list. He scored, I think, 383 marks. Option may be highest, uske over across the board. But he was there in the reserve list. And one of my other friends, he took maths 4 times, could not qualify, he changed to Telugu literature, qualified. So there are examples. This is a totally individual choice. थोड़ी सी मेहनत कर लो syllabus देखने में, थोड़ी सी मेहनत कर लोगे, you will be able to make a better decision for option. थोड़ी सी मेहनत.
Look at the question papers. Last 5 साल के, they must be available online. कहीं ना कहीं होंगे. आप डाउनलोड करो, एक बार देख लो. How well you think you are prepared. So being a civil engineering graduate, it was very difficult for me to do maths. It's so vast और क्या क्या syllabus में होता है, abstract mathematics भी इसके अंदर होती है. So I found it very difficult to do.
So the written parts of the exam are still in our hands, but the toughest part is the interview. So I want to ask you, what is the panel exactly looking for in the candidate? What kind of qualities? And also, if you would just brief us on your interview experience, like what they asked and how you answered them.
So she has asked about interview. See, interview may not be the most difficult part. I think interview is maybe easier than other parts, because interview is, you have studied everything for the GS when you go to the interview. So you just have to be yourself in an interview. So what are they looking at? So nowadays I take interviews for recruitments, but not obviously for this. When I become senior, maybe I will be in a member or something in UPSC, but otherwise, what we look for, what is the requirement of an interview when we have taken a written exam? One can ask. आपने तो देख लिया, knowledge देख ली, writing abilities देख ली, then why the hell do you want to take an interview? So interview is taken just to have a look at the person, look at his personality, look at how balanced the person is, how mature the person is. Sometimes written exams can be deceiving in terms of, maybe somebody is very radical minded and can get extremely good marks in the examination. So they are looking for a person that's somebody as a civil servant who will be balanced in his, who does not have sharp edges in his personality, who does not hate certain, let's say, religions or castes or languages, who knows fairly about the world in which he lives around. They can ask you questions about what did you study in the newspaper in the morning. They can ask even that. They will ask you questions about your hometown, the engineering which you did, the school in which you studied, anything under the sun. They can ask. So sometimes we learn some answers and go to the interview, and then they try to grill you around it. Now, for example, on a certain, let's say whether India should continue to be friends with Russia or they should now gravitate towards US. Let's say this is the question. उसके ऊपर you have prepared something. दिल से आपको लगता है कि no, पुरानी दोस्ती ज़्यादा अच्छी है. Let me be friends with Russia. आपने but कहीं जो पढ़ा है आपने, जो आपको कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट ने दे दिया कि नहीं, यूएस अपकमिंग है, ऐसा है वैसा है, सो वी शुड नाउ ग्रेविटेट टुवर्ड्स यूएस. सो नाउ आप वहां जाकर के यूएस की बात बोलने लग रहे हो. नाउ दे विल आस्क यू क्वेश्चंस और दे विल ट्राई टू फिगर आउट, इज इट योर ओरिजिनल ओपिनियन, डू यू बिलीव इन दैट और इज इट अ कुक्ड ओपिनियन. So I've just given you an example. So interviews say they try to see what is your real personality. So all kinds of questions अलग-अलग तरीके से पूछेंगे. Even me, I do the same in an interview to understand कि ये इसका real opinion है. What does he really think? कि आप बस रट करके आ गए and then spitting it out in the interview. So that's something what they would like to look in an interview.
Sir, can you write something else to see?
Okay. What do you want me to write? My best wish. Okay, I'll write something. Can you come here? Yeah, come down.
उसको बोल दिया है कि बीच का वो शूटिंग कर देगा.
What is your name?
Sabyasachi
Mishra. Sabyasachi is a very Bengali name.
Yes.
Any other questions? Anyone else? Okay, thank you guys. I think it's time to wrap up. All the best interview.
I'm sure all the students here have a lot to take away from your speech. An idea, a spark, the seed of inspiration, which will someday grow into something very big. I would now request Dr. Kirti Abhishek to present our guest of honor, Mr. Ashish, a small token of appreciation on behalf of Vision IES and Bitotsav 2018.